Thank you, Sophia. Shadow Housing Secretary Sir James Cleverly joins me now. Sir James, lovely to see you this morning. Thank you as ever for your time. Kemi Badenoch says the Conservatives are coming back. Well, you're not, are you? You've lost 563 seats.
Our share of vote increased from this time last year. Now, the numbers of councillors that we've lost, of course, it was painful, and that's also true with our members of the Senedd and of the Scottish Parliament. But our share of vote increased. The gap last year between Conservatives and Reform was 17 points. This year, that was down to 7 points. We've closed the gap significantly. There is still much more work to do, and Kemi was the first to make that clear. But the fact is that the people that have gone to the polls this week recognise the choices between a leader with integrity and a plan, or this useless Labour Party, and we have really started making our case.
Hang on a minute.
Of course, there's lots of work to do, but we're closing the gap.
There's a lot of work to do in the Red Wall, isn't it? I mean, you've absolutely been annihilated there. You've barely got any presence now in Wales or Scotland. You might have to reconsider your title. You're meant to be Conservatives and Unionist Party. Where's the Unionist here?
Oh, we've got members of the Scottish Parliament, we've got members of the Senedd. We got a good increase in our we got a good increase in our numbers in Trafford, for example, on the edges of Manchester, in Peterborough, in Harlow, in London, in Suella Braverman's backyard, in Fareham. So, as I said, look, no one's pretending that this was a easy or happy set of results for us, but Kemi's determined to do the hard work over the period between now and the next general election. That's exactly what she is doing, and we are now starting to see those results. As I say, the gap between us and Reform closed by 10 points over just 12 months. Reform had a good night. There's no two ways about that. They had a good night, but their vote share fell year on year. Ours has increased year on year.
What you say that you're basically comparing having lost 674 seats with having lost 563. The bottom line is you've still lost seats, not gained them. You're talking about Suella Braverman's backyard. What about your backyard in Essex? You've been absolutely trounced there. Essex was once an absolute Conservative heartland where people who supported Thatcher back in the day proudly wore blue rosettes. Those rosettes are now turquoise. If this was translated to a general election, you'd lose your seat, and so would Kemi Badenoch.
The way people vote in local elections is often fundamentally different to the way they vote in national elections. So, for example, in Kemi's own constituency, the council's run by a residents' association coalition, and yet Kemi was returned comfortably at the general election. So doing this local is the same as national, I think, is a mistake. But also, let's see what happened to, for example, the county councils that Reform won last year. In Kent, just across the river from Essex, they are in disarray, falling apart, losing councillors. In Worcestershire, they put council tax up by 9%, and local people are up in arms. So I would much have preferred that the Conservatives continue to run Essex County Council, but that's not what's happened. What we will do is we will highlight to our voters in Essex and elsewhere in the country that where Reform gets their hands on the levers of government, they inevitably mess it up. I don't want that to happen.
Okay.
And I will do everything in my power to make sure we kick him out at the next set of elections.
Well, that argument doesn't hold any water in the Red Wall that was won by Boris Johnson. You've lost the North, haven't you? I mean, since 2019,
and we will fight
you've
back
catastrophically hemorrhaged votes.
So Camilla, you're making it sound as if these things are inevitable. They are not inevitable, and we campaign, and we have been knocked back in the past. At the European elections in 2019, we got less than 10% of the vote. And in the general election, the same
that's because
year,
you failed
we got
to
one
deliver
of the biggest
Brexit
majorities
until
in a generation. But,
well, that's because of the failure of a former Tory Prime Minister, Theresa May.
But Camilla, you can't have it both ways.
How many failed Prime Ministers
Camilla,
do you want to
ways.
mention? Well, no, I'm sorry. You can't
Camilla,
say,
you can't
oh,
have it
hang
both
on,
ways.
we were at a historic low with Theresa May, and thankfully Boris Johnson got it back. We know how Boris Johnson's premiership ended. We know how Rishi Sunak's premiership ended, and we know how Liz Truss's premiership has ended. So it's no wonder that you're in this pickle. The best hope that you have of getting anywhere near the levers of power again is to prop up a Farage premiership. That's the truth of it. On these numbers, you don't have a hope in hell of becoming the ruling party.
No, Camilla, you and I both know the Telegraph's House position is to talk up reform. You've got to do your job, I've got to do mine. You and I also both know that wherever
I've got
reform
Richard
get their
Tice
hands,
coming on. I tell you what, we won't be talking him up.
So we know, the evidence shows that where reform take control, they lose control. We have got to fight hard, and we are going to fight hard. But the point is, they are a party that doesn't know where they stand on welfare reform. They are talking about nationalising industry. They don't have a defence spokesperson. The point is, this is not a party of the right. There is only one credible party of the right. That's the Conservative Party.
Well,
and
that's not what the North thinks.
You know they failed in their promises.
Well, I don't think you've got a leg to stand on failed promises. Hang on a minute, Sir James, let me just cut through here.
We're going to disagree
on that. You're saying where they
Camilla,
take control, they lose control. Where they take control, they lose control. That could literally be the Conservatives' new slogan. Honestly, come on. You haven't had a good night. I don't know.
About reform.
It should be your slogan about yourselves.
Oh, come on.
You've taken control. You took control,
well, so you keep
and
you
lost 4 prime ministers.
Camilla, this is, as I say. Look. I know the Telegraph. I'm sure you've all had the editorial
GB News today. I haven't got my Telegraph hat on today.
I get it. So the point is, GB News perhaps even more so. The fact is, look, we took back control of Westminster Council. We're now controlling Wandsworth Council. We made gains in Peterborough. We made gains in, as I say, Suella Braverman's backyard. We made gains in Harlow. Oh, look. You can try and dance on the head of a pin. We now control Wandsworth Council. We control Westminster Council. We control Harlow. We control Barnet. We took Barnet back. Harrow, massive gains in Harrow, in Peterborough, in Fareham. We held on to Kent in Nigel Farage's backyard where he lives. The point is that it was a difficult night in a number of places, and we've got work that we have to do. We completely recognise that. But the fact is that the people, let's say Bromley, for example, just across the county border with Kent, they can see what a catastrophe reform are making in Kent, which is why the people of Bromley voted Conservative. And that is going to keep happening. Now, we are the only party that's putting forward a credible plan to reduce dependency on welfare, to protect our country, to protect our economy. None of the other political parties are doing that.
All right, if we translated the locals to a general picture, you'd lose your seat, Alex Burkhard would lose his, Rebecca Harris would lose hers, Priti Patel would lose hers, Kemi Badenoch would lose hers. How about you do this, just to protect yourself in Braintree, in case you lose your seat in Braintree? Hang on a minute. James Cleverly, you're on a 3,000 majority. You're on very, very choppy waters here. 3,000 majority? That's not a safe seat for you. So are you going to chicken run? Are you chicken run to become? Well, hang on. Are you going to chicken run to become the Tory candidate for Mayor of London? That's what's been reported today. You can laugh. I mean, many people are talking about it.
You ask me this every I know, and it's very flattering.
I try and ask politicians things to get answers out of them.
On screen, but pretty regularly.
Yeah.
I know.
Are you doing it?
You've had the answer from me, and it'll be the same answer, which is the London Mayor. It's the same as last time you asked me. The London mayoralty is incredibly important, and it would be daft for any serious politician not to give it consideration. But I love being MP for Braintree. I want to get Essex back into Conservative control. I want to get Kemi into number 10. That's what I'm focused on. As I say, you can compare that with the last time you asked me. I think you'll find it's the same answer.
So the answer is the same in the sense that you are not denying it or ruling it out.
it's just, as I say, same question, same answer, Camilla.
Okay,
But
not
I
denying
admire your
it, not
tenacity.
ruling it out. Okay, we've noted that, James Cleverly. Thank you very, very much indeed. Always great to speak to you on GB News. Thank you.
Thank you very much.